Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your host for the 1:30 show on Sunday today. We had some dog visits and we were running a little bit behind today, so we're happy to have you. It is the kind of official ending today of the European elections. For those of you that are unaware, these elections last over a period of 3 days, right?
It's the whole weekend, yeah.
It's the whole weekend. So the UK voted on
23rd through the 26th.
I mean, they already voted, and here we are, like, waiting, and then you have, Horatio tells me that we probably won't find out the UK results until about midnight.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the Sky News doesn't start until 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. In the UK, they said. And so, yeah, we won't know the results. There are some preliminary results in Germany. I'm a little bit disappointed. The left lost a couple points, and the right gained a couple points. The Greens gained a bunch. And my way of analyzing that is they've done a really, really good job of stifling free speech. If you talk about the migrant crisis, if you talk about radical Islam in any negative manner, they can come to your home, and they do, and they arrest you.
They arrest you. This is not like, it's not even a fine sometimes. Like a fine, I guess I can't really understand it, but throwing someone in jail because they said something on the internet.
So this is what we call fascism.
Yes.
When the government is controlling what you say, controlling the narrative,
right,
and controlling an election result,
right,
which is exactly what happened in Germany. The people can only go along with that for so long,
right?
But it's very totalitarian, and in the homogenous nature of Germany, the happy-go-lucky Bierstein people, they are pretending that what is happening in their country does not exist, and they know that the left needs the votes.
Yeah.
And so they don't want to get radical Islamists angry. At the same time, if the AfD or people on the right are allowed to speak out,
right,
the Islamists will get angry and they will attack, which will actually give rise to more people on the right.
Right.
So that's why they have to silence and shut up people on the right. Now, what you see in the areas where there are leaders who are open to free speech, you see the rise of populism.
Right.
And that's the word for nationalism. It's the word for loving your country. These are like weird, bad words. Somebody came up with a good word. Wasn't it you the other day?
Probably. I'll take credit for it now.
Populism instead of nationalism, but I don't know what it was. So if you did, you'd have to come up with it again.
Darn.
People who love their country and want to keep it where it should be. We're going to cover a little bit on Lauren Southern's Borderless documentary, which is incredibly fair. Almost, you could say, as seen through the eyes of the migrants coming here.
Yeah, well, because that's what she did. I mean, she met up with these people. She talked to them.
On purpose.
Right.
And she did not want to paint the migrants actually as really bad, evil people coming over.
Well, I don't know. Okay, so I'm not going to correct you on that. I think that you're right. But what I took away from it was that it wasn't, she went into it completely blank. She was going to paint them in the light that they were. And it just so happened to be that's, you have to paint them in the light that she did, which is a very fair and compassionate light, I think.
Well, yeah, but she could have also gone much farther on talking about the negative parts of immigration, which she didn't do. So we're going to start our show off today. I guess this guy named Adam Bolton pretends to be a journalist, and this woman here is running. Her name is Alexandria Phillips. And she is running, I believe, as an MEP for the Brexit Party. We'll see if she gets in. But she was told that Nigel Farage asking for a seat at the negotiation tables was actually fascism.
No.
And he said it in such a way that was like, that's fascism.
Wow.
Like, it definitely is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, actually, which is actually fascism, controlling people's speech, controlling them. The way he's saying is, these are just little elections. They don't mean anything. That's the way the left is painting these elections. Only 30 to 35% of the people turn out. These are just little elections. They don't mean anything. Well, it was a referendum on this particular... of course, my internet's not going to work right. Come on.
Let me tell you how this breaks down. The equivalent of what is happening here when these people call sound-minded people fascists, and then they silence them. if somebody is falsely accused of being a thief, you're a thief. You stole everything that you have, and then they go in and take all your stuff. But they called you a thief the whole time and falsely accused you, and then they go and take your stuff as some sort of excuse to take your stuff, but you never were a thief to start with, so they are the real thieves. So when they call us fascists, there's actually no base or foundation in what they're saying, and then they censor you, and they put in this totalitarian state to silence and morph the thought process of a country and a society. Then it's the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah, I'm not getting internet down here right now.
Oh, phooey. You want me to bring it up?
I have 100 videos up. You can try to bring it up if you would like to. All right, so I guess I have to read articles that I already have up because my internet's being stupid.
Which I just need to get Leah a splicer because my computer is actually hardlined in. We wouldn't have this issue if I had a little splicer to let Leah be hardlined in as well.
Let Leah share her news. That's all I ask, is to be able to share my news.
It's a small request. It's a very cheap one. I can get you a splicer. I just have to do it.
Exactly. This is like my.
All right. So these are all your history.
This is on Twitter. This video is on Twitter.
All right. Well, it looked like it was on YouTube. You were going to play
this
it.
Is. Well, I was trying to bring up something to see if my videos would play.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Moving on to something else. Let's see. So we're in the UK. Asian male holds a knife to baby's throat in terrifying daylight robbery. Police are seeking an Asian male with a foreign accent who held a knife to the throat of a 19-month-old baby during a terrifying daylight street robbery in Normandy, England. It's on Twitter if you want to try to bring up my tweets. The incident happened between 5 and 6 p.m. Friday as the victim, a woman in her 40s, was taking her 19-month-old grandson for a walk.
Unbelievable.
She was pushing the pushchair along the footpath in the wooded area.
Is that they're called, a pushchair? We call them strollers.
Road, Normandy, when a man came out of the bushes in front of her and demanded her purse. When the victim refused, the man produced a knife and placed it to her grandchild's throat. The victim then handed over her purse, and the man ran off towards Normandy High Street. It's an Asian male with a foreign accent and very bad teeth, 6 feet tall. Of course, Asian refers to people with the roots of the Middle East. They're not really going to find guys if they keep calling them Asian. Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Afghanistan, rather than the Far East, as you know, in the United States.
We call them pushchairs, says Sean.
It's very interesting.
No way.
Knife crime in the UK. I have an article here from InfoWords. Yeah, it is. That really kind of explains this knife crime and what's going on here. That's had its 100th fatal stabbing this year already. And the gang members are reportedly awarding each other points for piercing victims in different parts of their body, with the head and face scoring the highest.
Oh my gosh.
So what you have here is UK gangs are bragging about stabbing people on YouTube while celebrating the score they earned based on where the victim is penetrated. Gang members utilize a violent and nihilistic rap subgenre called drill music that depicts them celebrating their exploits with lyrics like check the scoreboard and blood on my shank might keep it. If a child in Slough, a London suburb, has suddenly found out about scores, he's found it through YouTube, says an ex-gang member, Chris Preddy. These drill rappers have massive platforms to inform young minds. The bigger the crime, the higher the points. And the more you do something, the more your reputation you get, and the more you get ranked up.
So, we are considered as dangerous as these people on YouTube, and we're probably more regulated. And censored.
Yeah. Definitely.
This is what they act like the right is like. This is what they act like the conservative movement is like, and populism is like. That we are knifing people, and we're bragging about it, and we're killing people.
We are. We're virtually taking down the deep state.
And it's actually more serious to them.
It is.
That their, big empire is crumbling than individual people.
Are being, yeah. The point breakdown is denoted by a literal scoreboard that gives 50 points for a stabbed head, 30 for a chest, 20 for a stomach, 10 for a leg, and 5 for an arm.
Wow.
According to Sky News investigation.
We have a dog here who's squeaking a hamburger toy.
So far, 2 deaths have been linked to the gangs using these videos. In London, it's normal. You wake up, you have your breakfast, and you stab someone.
Wow.
So I'm going to try
It's just everyday occurrence.
You're going to
Happens
try
all the
to
time.
bring this up.
I have it. We are
okay.
ready to go, my friend. All right, so we're going to play this video that Leah had up. This is our Twitter page. If you're not following us on Twitter, guess what? You should be.
Yeah, but you have to actually go to my page because you're not going to get it in your feed.
Oh, and you know what? You know what? Shawnee Show, one of our moderators, tells me that he just had to resubscribe to Mass Faith 3.
Wow.
Because he wasn't. He said, I have been for 2 years. What's YouTube up to? He says.
Wow.
Thank you, Sean.
Wow.
I can't hear her. Is she muted? Oh, she's muted.
And saying there's something dodgy about their donation system.
What, did you go to the rap one?
What we've seen over the last couple of days
we're actually kind of on the rap
former
story.
Prime Minister turning around saying...
I just went to what you asked me to bring up.
No, I figured we'd go to the rap song. I said, this is the rap one.
Wait, we're on Twitter. Calm down. Okay. Breathe.
I don't need... We're not on Twitter. This one's on YouTube. I thought you could see. See YouTube right here?
I wanted to bring up that video. Here we go. Hang on.
We need a tech team.
I am the tech team. Calm down.
Except for my tech team can't get my internet going.
Well, she can. She just needs to make the time to do it. All right, here we go. Here we are on the... I don't see it here.
Well, that's because it actually hasn't played yet, I guess. You're going to have to... None of those are mine.
I'm logged in.
So I don't know why none of them are playing. None of them are in your thing. I'll have to play them
beyond?
Random.
Are they...
No, they're not.
What's it called?
Knife crime. I don't know how many people I've stabbed. BBC Newsbeat. There it is.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
I started carrying a knife when I was 12. I started carrying a knife because everyone was doing it at the time. I stabbed quite a lot of people, and if I was to sit and count, I wouldn't be able to count because there's so much years I was in that gang life, and people remind me to this day about people I've stabbed I don't even remember. You know, that's the God's honest truth.
You know, people say that if you carry a knife yourself, you're more likely to have it used on you.
Yes.
Has anyone ever pulled a knife on you? And
yes.
You've been stabbed?
Yeah, I've been stabbed. I got stabbed in the head as well. It didn't penetrate, hit my temple, so yeah, it didn't go through. But I was very bloody. I couldn't eat properly for 2 weeks. And yeah, now they've pulled on me plenty of times. People have tried to stab me on numerous occasions. Yeah.
I sort of said it a minute ago, but you talk about it really casually.
Yes. In London, it's normal. It's like it's just one of those things that you wake up, you have your breakfast. Yeah, you wake up and you stab someone, isn't it? It's just like, and it's mad because we don't actually think that we're actually damaging a life. We don't think we're going to kill you. We don't. Obviously now we do sometimes. It depends who you're going after.
I can't believe
we need to sit down in the park and
serious.
have conversations and say,
Honest.
what's life going to be like if we make it to 16? You know, when we made it to 16, we never planned life past 18 because we thought we were going to die. So we thought we would actually sit there and be like, yeah, man, what's life going to be like when we're 18? If we make it to 18, are we still going to be doing this? Well, like, because we had no hope, you know?
Thinking back to when you carried a knife, would 10, 15, 20 years in prison for carrying a knife be a deterrent for you?
For me personally, with no doubt, giving tougher sentences will prevent people from carrying knives because no one wants to go for jail for 10 to 15 years just for carrying a knife. That's something you go to jail for manslaughter or murder.
One of the things that the government is looking at is these online videos, and people often refer to drill music and things like that. But online videos, social media, used to kind of ramp up tensions between gangs.
Yes.
Do you think that's a problem?
Yeah, that's definitely a big problem. Back in my day, if I was listening to drill music, I'm riding that 24/7. Like, if I was listening to drill music every day, the way it is now, I'm definitely committing crime. Like, it's not helping. They're doing acts of people dipping and stabbing each other. That's glamorizing, and that's wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you want to see any of the music, the drill gang, but this is pretty intense, and I think that when the poor journalist, I don't know, he was just not sane in talking about when you carried a knife. When you carried a knife, you know, if you're carrying a knife, but what's the what's the intent behind these guys?
Right.
It's violence. Just the same thing in Chicago that you see with guns. You see the same gang mentality. And unless you change the mindset of these young people, and that's why it's so interesting that rap music is allowed and promoted, and they're allowed to make millions of dollars, but you're not allowed to talk against radical Islamists
Right.
on social media. And it's so crazy because it's like people don't want to go after the cause. They just want to go after the weapon. Because they actually, I think that they think to themselves, it's really incredibly racist in my opinion, because they think they're black. They don't know any better. They're always going to be that way. Let's just take away their weapons from them.
They're going to always find something to use as a weapon. I mean, people in jail are not allowed to have weapons of any kind, and yet they still have knife attacks, and they'll find some sharp object.
But my point,
harm each other.
But no, my point is that black people don't need to be gang members.
Right, they can come out of it.
And it's so racist of the people in Chicago to think, well, let's just get rid of guns,
right? Rather
than, hey, these people don't need to be gang members. These black youths who are mostly black in this particular the stabbings are listening to black rappers, and so they see their idols up on stage, and this is a particular vein of violence. I'm not saying that all violence is committed by black people. I'm saying that this gang stabbing violence is perpetrated by black youths in the gang culture, and it's racist to think that by taking away the knife that somehow you'll stop them from hurting each other, but they're going to continue to need to be in gangs.
Right.
They're going to need, that's what they do. They're black people. That they're just part of gangs. That's what they do.
Right. Instead of coming up with programs, which I'm not saying, programs are the answer. I think that they should be put on by real people, not the government. But still, instead of coming up with some other solution, incentivizing living a normal life above being in a gang.
Yeah. Yeah, these kids have nothing to live for. They need something to live for.
Right.
All right. Okay, go ahead and bring up your other video.
Okie doke.
This was actually a really great show that I had put together.
You know what?
Today.
Maybe it's time for Michelle participation. And then I get to be part of the videoing process.
I want you to be.
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's try this one again. And now she's muted again.
Former Prime Minister turning around saying,
there we go.
What we've seen over the last couple of days is a former Prime Minister turning around saying there's something dodgy about their donation system. Elcom had cleared the party a week before. Elcom then going into our offices saying there's absolutely nothing wrong going on here, and the media only reporting the smear and not the resolution.
How will voting for Brexit help bring about Brexit, bearing in mind you don't have any MPs at Westminster?
Very true. Well, actually, what we can see at the moment is Brexit is, in many respects, the wrecking ball through the two-party political system, which is the stagnation of the UK Parliament, which is the whole reason why we're not being able to deliver the democratic mandate of the referendum of 2016. What Nigel has said quite clearly is if the Brexit Party win big tomorrow, which fingers crossed we will, there should therefore be a good platform to make the argument that the Brexit Party should be part of the ongoing negotiations about Brexit to make sure...
You're not serious?
He's absolutely serious
so
about that.
So you're saying without winning any representation at Westminster, you think the Brexit Party should be involved in the negotiations officially?
Well, absolutely. Ollie Robbins hasn't won any support at Westminster.
He's a civil servant,
but the
acting
point
on behalf
is
of an elected government.
The point is this, Westminster have not delivered on that result, and what we're seeing is a constant weakening and dilution of Brexit. At this stage, I'm not even sure what we're leaving.
I mean, this is getting close to authoritarian fascism, saying we win one election which is not directly relevant, and we demand a voice in future negotiations.
I think, well, that's absurd, because actually what we have is the first democratic opportunity for the people of the UK to say to the establishment, we're not happy with what you have done since that referendum, and use democratic means to express that point of view. It just so happens that the next elections are the European elections, and it's absolutely vital that the 17.4 million who voted to leave are represented in that institution as long as we're a member state.
So she literally, that got me. I already told you guys what got me about that one. He's literally saying it's fascist.
You know what? Unacceptable again.
It's literally.
How did that get down there?
Fascist. You put it there.
I did not.
It's literally fascist to have the MEPs who are voted into the European Parliament have some sort of say on how the UK leaves. This is Remainers on fascist alert, and we just have to call them out wherever they're at. The freedom of speech here it's you know what? Just keep speaking. I don't want you guys to get worried about it, but it's pretty crazy. All right. So this Jewish guy...
Hang on, I want to tell him what just happened. So we're keeping these dogs here. And we have some friends that drop off occasionally stale bread for the pigs. And there was a grocery bag of it in the laundry room. And here comes Gatlin with a giant loaf of bread onto the dog bed to play with it. So I gave her a tiny piece of it and then put it away. And then I sat down, and somehow the dog that Tracy, Shawnee Show's wife, had crocheted for Jasper, who's deceased, God rest her soul, I'm not Catholic. Here she comes toting it in. No. It's never a dull moment around here.
So this Jewish guy on Twitter, it's never a dull moment, tweeted out why every Jew should vote for Tommy Robinson.
Oh my gosh.
And he shared this video, and I don't know you guys if you've seen it. I'll see if it'll play.
I bet it'll play.
It's not going to say.
We're going to say it's going to play.
No, I think you're going to need to bring up YouTube.
It's going to play.
None of my videos are playing right now.
Well, good news. I've got our history.
Remember, it's not playing, so it's not coming up.
Okay.
So you need to...
Is it on Avi's channel?
Yeah. I'm not sure what channel it's on. I think it is. But you can go to Avi's channel.
There's too many. Yamini? How do you spell that?
Just go to the Tommy Robinson video every Jew must watch.
That's not to like...
There it is.
Hey, we don't chew dog beds.
This video is
Robinson
just for the Jews who don't like Tommy Robinson, and especially those Jews who say he's anti-Semitic. Because I hear it all the time, not just from fringe media, but from the mainstream and Jewish media as well. They call him a racist, a fascist, and often even a Nazi. Here in Australia, the chairman of the Australian Defamation Commission, Dvir Abramovich, was reported in news.com.au calling Tommy Robinson a white supremacist and anti-Semite. So, is it true? Well, first let's look at his close friends and work colleagues. We have Ezra Levant from Rebel Media, who has worked with Tommy for years now. Guess what? He's a Jew. His current campaign manager for today's election is a Jew. Brian of London, one of Tommy's closest friends for many years now, is a Jew. And myself, I am Australia's proudest Jew. That's just to give you, name a few. But, by the way, from the ADC, he's never met Tommy in real life. He just likes to make headlines, and I don't blame him because that was an easy opportunity. The fact is, Tommy Robinson is the furthest thing from a Nazi. Let me give you a couple examples. In November 2016, Tommy travelled to Israel to witness the conflict for himself. He'd wanted to make this trip for ages. When he was there, he fell in love with the people, he fell in love with the land, and he declared himself publicly a Zionist. The trip confirmed to him what he already understood about jihadi threat Israel faces on a daily basis. You often see Israeli flags at all these rallies. They were even present back in the EDL days, and next to gay flags. Neither of those flags would be accepted at any real far-right event, which his followers and him himself love. The backlash from Jew haters has never bothered Tommy Robinson. The former leader of Britain's racist British National Party hates Tommy because of his love of Israel and because he doesn't have any problem with gay people. Whenever you read an article on Tommy, they generally describe him as the founder of the EDL, just to vilify him. But they never tell you why Tommy left the EDL that he himself founded. And I will, because it's a perfect example of how not anti-Semitic Tommy really is. When Tommy was sent to prison, the EDL was hijacked by actual Jew haters, and Tommy wanted no part in it. He tried to push them out from within, but he couldn't. So he publicly walked away. Now just imagine how much easier would it have been for Tommy to embrace anti-Semitism at the time. But he didn't, because he is not what they call him. He is not an anti-Semite. He has always stood on principle no matter the personal cost. And we know, boy, the personal cost has often been extremely, extremely high.
Okay, let me stop it.
The media also love to define Tommy as...
So I wanted to give you that, and I also wanted you to know that during Tommy's campaign, as he was running for MEP for the Northwest, information had been passed to Tommy's group that showed that the Royal Mail may have not delivered his pamphlets.
Wow.
So
that's mail fraud.
There was a woman that had a stack of pamphlets she was supposed to deliver, and after investigating the person who was referred to as she on the phone responsible, the Royal Mail said that they would retrain her, which means she didn't deliver his pamphlets.
She gets fired.
Female was supposed to take the leaflets out of the box and deliver them to every address on her round.
Wow.
This did not happen because she didn't want Tommy's campaign material distributed.
Fired.
Tommy says, we were unhappy with that response, and Royal Mail refused to divulge any more information or to put that in writing to us. And we did not expect to have the she name involved in this because that would be covered under data protection law. Mm-hmm. Royal Mail obviously didn't want to get any information out on the person, but they have already made some extra complaints. I just want to throw that out there. We don't know how Tommy's seat is yet. We won't know. If you would like to follow the Rebel media,
I would say we'll be staying up really late, but we'll get to hear it before it's really late here. I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, you guys are going to be in bed sleeping probably. So
let me get to a couple of comments here because we haven't been reading comments a lot lately. So let me see. Worth a Look says, that is true. They always start with Tommy Robinson, founder of the English Defense League. That way they plant it into people's mind before the true story or debate begins. More people are awake to that now. Amber says, I saw Avi's video on that, and apparently their laws are different in the UK, though. Sir the Brit says, the Royal Mail is owned by Germany. I wonder, is that true? Ben Patterson, yep. A federal offense punishable by heavy fines and imprisonment in the U.S. I would imagine the same in the U.K. Mail fraud.
Obviously, she's just going to be retrained.
So
fired.
We're going to get to what, Horatio has been sending me rumors all day, right? Yeah. On some of the...
Breaking, Horatio says that it looks like the exit poll for France will have Marine Le Pen's national rassemblement at 23 to 25 and Macron's
Renaissance
at 19 to 22. So I'm looking at Twitter here, and someone says, I regret it will be the election night of Marine Le Pen. Could be polling at a third of the French vote. Let's see.
He says, wow, 23% of 17 to 24-year-olds in Greece voted for Golden Dawn, who are an unashamed neo-Nazi party.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
That's insane.
So I can't bring up any videos on Twitter.
I'm sorry. I will get to whatever.
I am so going to punch
Sean says, Royal Mail have to deliver all mail that is given to them to distribute. If any postee doesn't deliver what they are given, it is withholding of mail and is a sackable offense. Yes, I was a postman too. Wow, Sean, you wear mini caps.
So I can't actually play videos, but I can show you pictures of videos. This is Macron's hometown. Tons of yellow vests out right now. Voter turnout in France is 48%, 10 points higher than 5 years ago. So far, Marine Le Pen list is in the lead with 25%.
So what happens is, when they haven't seen Kansas in a while, they get all barky for a minute. Oh my gosh. So Horatio says, as Nigel said, if you take people's voice away, all they're left with is violence. He said that 7 years ago. And that's what's happening. These people all over Europe are fed up of being silenced. They are like, no more. Enough is enough.
All right. So I'm going to retweet this and so you can play it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So Marine Le Pen will speak shortly after 8 p.m. If you guys want to go find her video.
Well, and maybe this would be a good time to explain to our non-European viewers the difference between, because I'm sure a lot of you have been with us since Le Pen's first election when we were trying to elect her party, right, for the majority, and Macron won the seat. This is not the same election.
Right. No.
And that's why with Nigel's Brexit party, it would have to translate to the local elections,
right.
Which I know it's very strange for us, but it is different. They vote on their representatives and the parties that go to the European Union in addition to the ones that are more prevalent locally. So you could have a more prevalent party in the European Union, which is what we're about to see, than what you have in your local election. So this is the video.
Yeah.
Far right leader says EU vote a referendum on Macron.
Is it playing?
Not yet.
6.8 million. So she's still in the polling station. You should see her come out behind me in just a few moments. Now, both Marine Le Pen and the President Emmanuel Macron have presented this European election as a two-horse race between the two of them. Macron has been saying, I am the only thing between us and a populist takeover of the European Parliament, whereas Marine Le Pen has been telling voters who are disaffected with the government that a vote for her is the only way they can express their frustration with the president. Of course, the European election isn't really a two-horse race in that sense. It's a proportional one where everything is really about influence at the European Parliament and about making alliances on a European level. And Marine Le Pen's party already came top of the poll in France the last time these elections were held in 2014, sending 24 MEPs to Brussels, and failed really to make a huge impact on the European level. In the meantime, the main headline that they've made, of course, has been with a scandal where they were found to have misused 6.8 million euros worth of European Parliament funds, paying their staff, which they're now having to repay the Parliament. But for Marine Le Pen, the big difference between this European election and the last one 5 years ago is the different alliances that she's now building at a European level. A few years ago, she was calling to pull France out of the EU, but now, as she said to us in an interview in this very town just a couple of weeks ago, she sees alliances all over Europe with people like Matteo Salvini in Italy, with people like possibly Viktor Orban, even with groups across Eastern Europe, and she hopes that she can build these alliances between different nationalist parties in the European Parliament in order to change the way that things are done in Brussels. But nothing is less certain given all the policy differences between different nationalist parties in different countries.
You know, it must be terribly exciting to go into a polling booth and vote for yourself. And vote for your party. You know what I mean? Like, I love that. I love how they pan down to her amazing high heels and pants. She actually is very stylish. When I see her, it literally just makes me happy. She makes me happy. Marine Le Pen makes me smile. I love her so much.
All right. So, I'm actually pretty excited for this particular vote and what you're going to see. Obviously, Hungary's going to go, you know, Viktor Orban style, and Salvini, and Italy's going to go Salvini style.
So hang on. Horatio says, pan-European turnout, I can speak, is 51%, which I think makes it the highest turnout since 2000. And he says no change in Finland. The main government and pro-EU parties lead.
Okay. Thank you for the update. Keep bringing them, because I'm not sure where to find them like that. I've been having trouble finding. I found some the Germany update. All right, so here we go. You guys ready for this?
We're ready.
I forgot. I can't play videos.
Hang on, I can go. I can.
No, but I don't have it. I have to like retweet everything so you can find it.
I could just go to Euroguido.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. I will just retweet out everything I need to do today.
Okay, let me refresh the page.
I love my life.
Here it is. Look. I found it. There's Drunker Yunker. Okay, it's not playing yet. Hang on. Let me get there.
You started from the beginning.
Nationalists. These populist nationalists, stupid nationalists, they are in love with their old country. These populist nationalists, stupid.
He calls populists and nationalists stupid. Play it like 3 times.
Nationalists, they are in love with their old country. These populist nationalists, stupid nationalists, they are in love with their old country.
Again.
These populist nationalists, stupid nationalists, they are in love with their old country.
One more time.
These populist nationalists, stupid nationalists, they are in love with their old country.
Okay. Somebody needs to take that clip and just play it over and over and over again for like a 1 minute
kind of like a
ad.
rap, though. These populist nationalists, stupid nationalists, they are love with their old country. These populist nationalists, stupid nationalists. It sounds like some sort of Disney, you know, you just spit. You guys can't get this kind of entertainment just anywhere.
So if I were somebody,
you literally have spit on your shirt now.
If I were somebody, somebody in Europe, I would. Do you want
me to raise up the camera until your shirt dries?
No, it doesn't matter.
No, it did. Look.
I would watch that.
No, you keep backing up.
If I were in Europe, I would say, oh my gosh, I'd look at that and I'd say, I need out. I need out.
Yeah.
These people hate me.
I know.
They call me stupid.
Stupid nationalists.
Stupid. All right, let's see.
Oh my goodness.
So I want you to.
Okay.
I can't. It's not my history.
But
you're gonna have to bring up BBC question time. Quickly move on when Tommy Robinson is mentioned. Quickly move on when Tommy Robinson is mentioned. There she is.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Okie doke.
Very interesting.
The woman there in there.
Sorry, that's not what I think. What I actually think is, even from this panel, I'm afraid to say tonight, at the beginning, the way you've talked about some of your colleagues in Parliament really depresses me.
Okay, start it over. So what she says here, she begins to talk about it halfway through, that nobody is talking about the fact that the police walked the radical Muslims down the street to Tommy's rally and they threw glass and rocks.
Yeah.
And she gets the question out and they move on. Watch.
The woman there in there.
Sorry, that's not what I think. What I actually think is, even from this panel, I'm afraid to say tonight, at the beginning, the way you've talked about some of your colleagues in Parliament really depresses me. We had a gentleman in the audience just saying, people like these, we are egged on all the time to see people who don't think like us as some kind of monster. I mean, I don't agree necessarily with Nigel Farage, but he is a Brit, he's a human being, he's part of our planet. And this tone is set just as much by you politicians.
You might disagree with somebody politically and be really passionate about what you think they're doing to the country, but you would not in any way set the country against them.
Do you know, they marched, the Greater Manchester Police marched over 200 ferocious, angry gang of Asian men to a family rally that Tommy Robinson, the man you're not allowed to mention, was holding the other day. They came with bricks, they smashed up windows, they smashed police cars, they terrorised children. It was all one-sided. It was not reported by the police. No one was arrested. The police walked them from over 1.5 miles away to the rally carrying weapons. This guy is so demonised and lied about that we're not allowed to mention him in spaces like this.
Is it the man in the pink top there?
Yeah.
Wow. Didn't even talk about it. Because they know that when the public sees Asian men, I have to say Arabic, Middle Eastern men.
There you go.
When they see Middle Eastern men throwing bricks, they're going to get angry, and they don't want a civil war in their country.
Right.
And so it's all one-sided, like she said. The only thing that the EDL is even doing is going around, and I do not I despise anti-Semitism, white nationalism, whatever. When it started, it was going around trying to say, hey, look, this is happening, and these people are doing bad things. So why is it that you can hold rallies against Tommy Robinson,
right?
But you can't, but the EDL can't hold rallies? I'm not saying that you should. We had a stupid rally in Dayton, Ohio, where 9 KKK members showed up over like 1,000 anti-protesters showed up. You know what I mean? So, all right, Home Secretary. 19 terrorist attacks have been stopped in the last 2 years. Major attacks. 19 major terrorist attacks plots on the UK have been foiled in the last 2 years, the Home Secretary said today. Home Secretary Sajid Javid said reviews carried out in the wake of the Salisbury nerve agent attack had revealed real gaps in existing laws. He announced that the government is preparing the way for a new espionage bill. Foreign agents could be required to register with British authorities under a fresh crackdown on hostile state activity. Speaking at Scotland Yard, the Home Secretary said the security services work each and every day to fight against terror. And he revealed that 19 attacks have been stopped. 14 of them were related to Islamic terrorism, and 5 were motivated by extreme right-wing ideologies. We have no idea what he means by that. He says in taking his job, he's personally signed several thousands of warrants day and night. So,
wow. That's crazy. So Worth a Look had said the old coppers would be ashamed of how the police have turned out. Well, it's their masters above who give the orders, but still, I think that times have changed, and you're hearing a lot from people. Even the old timer gang members are ashamed of the new timer gang members, as we showed earlier. You know what I mean? All right, so Horatio's giving me an update from Belgium. He says, well, I'm not going to do the Yorkshire accent. I really can't do it. In Belgium, that wasn't even an attempt at Yorkshire, by the way. Vlam Belang, who are far right, ultra-nationalists, have come second. Things are going to get messy in Belgium. They want to... I have no idea what that... Part of Belgium, there's a place, Vlaanderen. They want that place independent, and it looks like it could happen.
Wow.
Crazy.
So thank you for that update. Sure. So Belgium is far right. We don't exactly know totally. Maybe you can explain exactly what that means. Let's see if we can get some... No, not Belgium cricket. I don't need Belgium cricket. Belgium vote. That's very interesting there. Belgium being right next to Brussels there. Brussels. So very interesting. I'm not getting any vote here. No, I'm not even spelling it right.
Belgium space vote. I don't know how to spell it. I'm not a very good speller.
All right, so I'm going to trust Horatio on that.
Yeah, you spell it right.
Keep going with the... All right. Migrant convict escape custody and prison-style plan. A trio of migrants managed to slip past security and escape the Hendai Administrative Detention Center last weekend after executing an intricate plan to evade the guards. The 3 prisoners escaped the facility located at the French-Spanish border last Saturday by first removing a metal door handle, which they then used to smash the glass of a window looking out into a courtyard that was not accessible to the police on duty. Armed with a collection of knotted together bed sheets and 12 meters long, they used a water bottle as a counterweight to throw over the 7-meter high wall of the detention facility and used the makeshift rope to climb the wall and ended up on a roof where they managed to make their escape. So I thought that was an interesting tidbit there.
Horatio says Brussels is in Belgium. Cough.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Brussels in Belgium. Sorry. Belgium. I get my tongue tied. Yes. Brussels is in Belgium. That's what I meant. Right there.
There you are. And there you will be.
There I will be.
So I did try, I think I did fix the audio, so the next time I play a video, it should even out. Let me know. Somebody had said that the audio is obviously really loud when we play a video.
All right. So, yeah, this very seat of the EU, Brussels, even though they do tend to pack it up every once in a while and go to another country for a while, which is incredibly wasteful and stupid. the seat is going towards the right, which is very interesting how that would play out. All right, where am I going to next? Italian police officers arrested for helping gang smuggle in aliens. So, Michelle, I don't know. I'm so frustrated. I want you to bring up the Borderless trailer, please. We watched Lauren Southern's Borderless. It is more than fair. Like I said in the beginning, it shows the migrant crisis almost through the lens of the migrants. And it's not, I was thinking about it, it's not all migrants. It's a specific set of sub-Saharan African migrants coming in. Yeah. She didn't cover, it's a 1.5 hour long documentary. She wasn't able to cover the entire migrant crisis. She was able to cover specific areas where the migrants were coming in. And what I took away from this more than anything else, and I don't even think you're going to see this in the trailer, was this is a people smuggling business, and people are making millions, billions of dollars capitalizing on hopes and dreams of people in Africa. Now, these aren't, as Lauren Southern puts it, these are not poor people in Africa, the people that you would think you would want in for refugee crisis. Some do come in. Some are refugees. Some are from war-torn areas. However, these people, here's the thing, it would be one thing if they were making it on their own. They're not making it on their own. They are people smugglers going and telling people in Africa. And when Lauren interviews these people, they say, "Oh, I want to go to Sweden. I've heard Sweden is great. I've heard the UK is great."
Well, I don't mind giving a few spoilers here because they're facts from what she did a documentary. She talked to people. These are facts. These people said, "I wish I had never made the journey. If I could go home, I would go home."
They thought that they were coming here for jobs. A lot of them thought that they were coming here to work.
Right.
And some of them were some of them were higher educated people.
Well, no, hang on, there's another punchline there. These people, like Lauren said, she said, it's actually, we're not even bringing in the poor people.
That's what I just said.
They're upper class. I mean, these people, some of them sell their houses to be able to afford the $2,000 and $3,000 fees. The poor people, the refugees that you would really want to help, if you did want to help anybody, they don't have $2,000 or $3,000 to get on a boat and try and come here,
right?
Or here or there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Come over.
But that's the same thing with what's happening in our country. You have coyotes, people smugglers, and a lot of them, 1/3 of them are bringing in America, children that they're not related to.
Yeah.
So you have child trafficking as well as people trafficking. There is a crisis happening when you go ahead and play the trailer. But what you'll see when you watch it, and it's free to watch on YouTube, that YouTube took it down. They took away her premiere button. She had it ready to go. She was going to have a live chat. One of the video had 75,000 views, and then they took it down after the views. We watched it on the first.
Well, I'm amazed that they're letting her keep her emergency backup up. To be honest with you, here's the emergency backup. You guys can go to Lauren Southern's channel.
It's already had almost close to 400,000 views,
and that view count's probably not even correct.
Right.
Like Sean just said, Michelle, I was a subscriber for 2 years, and now I'm not.
Right.
So.
The founder of an aid group has surrendered to police. He was one of several aid workers wanted for helping migrants illegally enter the country.
Pause that, please.
ERCI,
So they actually got into this smuggling business, and they interview a woman who was a lawyer from Hawaii who went over to Europe and taught these refugees how to pretend to be refugees,
how to pretend to be Christians.
And she said, well, don't tell them your favorite holiday is Christmas. Say it's just your favorite holiday is December 25th because we celebrate the birth of our Lord Jesus. Yeah. She teaches them to pray. She teaches them to say lie. Well, I was a Christian in my Muslim country, and my boss found out, and my life was threatened.
And Lauren Southern's people, the whole group of them that put this together, they uncovered that.
So they followed that particular woman and they were able to get in and talk to this, what you just heard about, one of these men who has this millions of dollars in people smuggling.
But he says it's not people smuggling. He says it's a humanitarian relief.
Right.
Operated on the island of Lesbos is now closed. 30 of its members facing charges in Greece, including spying and alleged people trafficking.
Have you been involved in human trafficking?
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
حياتي معرضة للخطر من دخلت من شهر الله موجودين هنا طالبين اللجوء هنا.
There are thousands of people, if not millions, just waiting on the other side, waiting for the right moment to cross the water.
So pause that. That is the militia on the Bulgarian border that turns away hundreds of thousands of migrants.
She has like nerves of steel, this one. She goes with them.
Just down the road searching for them as well, so we're trying to be really quiet. You're coming to your car now.
She interviews a man who has an olive vineyard.
Can we just end it there?
You can. And in Turkey. On the coast of Turkey, and I guess on the coastland. I don't know if it's an island. I'm forgetting it right off the top of my head. But he says the women can't even go out to work their farms.
They have to be escorted.
They have to be escorted. And he said there was close to like 1 million people that crossed, or something crazy like that. If I get my numbers right, it was just an astronomically crazy number, and that the people that have crossed through. And so I wanted you to watch that, and I want you to go watch it. And then I want to read this article here because Italian police officers have been arrested for helping gangs smuggle in illegals. So here we have some law enforcement that is actually going after some of these people smugglers that we learn about in Lauren's film. 2 Italian police officers in Naples are among several alleged members of a criminal gang. These are gangs smuggling in illegal migrants into Italy. Discovered by wiretaps. A total of 7 people, including 2 officers, were arrested. And what we saw in some of these refugee camps were doctors were faking that these people had cancers or life-threatening diseases to get them in.
Right.
These are people breaking the law.
Right.
Used wiretaps to track the dealings of the gang who allegedly offered forged residency permits with the help of the officers. According to the investigators who performed a number of raids along with the wiretaps, the gangs were using a retired former police inspector as a go-between to contact the officers working at the immigration office in the Naples police and would offer them 50 euros for basic information and as much as 3,000 euros to help them forge residency papers for the illegals. The investigation originated from another prior investigation into legal immigration in connections to radical Islamic terrorism, but following the trail of the gang, the investigators found that they were focused on illegal migration in general, with one of the members bragging over an intercepted phone conversation that the gang had brought in thousands of migrants. The arrests are not the first for the human traffickers this year. In January, police arrested 15 suspects of smuggling radical Islamic terrorists into Italy under the guise of asylum seekers. The investigation and subsequent arrests were sparked by a tip from a former jihadist. Among many gangs associated with human trafficking in Italy is the Nigerian mafia. In February, 5 members of the Nigerian mafia were arrested across Italy, accused of helping to smuggle young women into Italy and then using various tactics, including threats and religious rituals, to force these young women into sexual slavery and prostitution. So Salvini putting a check valve on these. He is a hero for Europe. He's a hero for Italy because they're bringing in prostitution, they're bringing in sex slavery, they're bringing in radical Islamic terrorists, and suddenly, oh, you're far right if you don't want this to happen.
Yeah.
There's people aren't vetted. They're not. We don't sit down and talk. I mean, oh well. Obviously, the NGOs are having people sit down and tell them, pretend. So we still don't even know who they are, even if you sit down and talk to them.
And I found actually it fascinating, and I hate to give away all of Lauren Southern's video, but she spoke to somebody in Ireland, and she pretty much, and the people the people there, they're like, listen, we're not racist, we're not afraid of people, but Ireland has a very rich culture.
Yeah.
And when you bring in such a massive, quick influx of people, they don't have an opportunity to become Irish and to partake in Irish culture. And that's the issue. It's not that you don't want people to come. It's you want people to come and become a part of your culture so that you can maintain
She interviewed a couple women who said that they kind of look like they were lying, honestly, but I don't know. That they were fleeing persecution in their home country. And they paid people traffickers to smuggle them into Europe. And some of this particular Irish town has lost its hotel because there are people who are homeless in Ireland, and yet the government puts the refugees in a fancy hotel. And that is what they're angry about, and that is what they're upset about.
Right.
And you can see that they're not upset if...
Well, it's not just that they put them up in the fancy hotel. The town's one hotel converted from being a hotel to just housing because, and the hotel managers interviewed as having said, it was far more profitable for me to do that.
Right.
It's just about profits.
Yeah. And what the one lady said was that why we can't go helping other people until our people are helped first.
Yeah.
If we have to get rid of our own homeless people, or not get rid of them, but get rid of homelessness for our own people.
Well, and she also said that, I don't remember the statistics right off the top of my head, but she remembers a time in her life where Ireland had not Ireland, but their town had no homelessness. And now they do because they're displacing if you're going to give aid, you should give it to your people first.
Right, exactly. 600,000 migrants entered Britain in 1 year. More than 600,000 migrants arrived in the United Kingdom in 2018, akin to the population the size of the city of Belfast. The data released by the Office of National Statistics said that over 250,000 people arrived with the intention of staying 12 months, then left in 2018. In total, over the past 12 months, 602,000 new people migrated to Britain, while 343,000 emigrated, showing a continued strong trend towards overall net migration. The UK also granted asylum, alternative forms of leave, or resettlement to 17,000 people.
And thank you. Bye gave me the name of that journalist. Her name is Gemma O'Doherty.
Okay.
She is an award-winning journalist. So thank you for reminding me of that.
So you have today's migration figures show there are more people coming to the UK. A lot of it is illegally. Some of it is legally. And not being able to take care of your own people is a big deal. And trying to virtue signal for votes is what the Labour Party is losing on. And to see Brexit, the Brexit Party racing to the top. If you guys didn't see our Friday show, Boris Johnson is set to probably take Theresa May's spot. She's resigning June 9th, but Nigel Farage is not going to let this just go quietly in the night. Boris Johnson voted for Theresa May's deal. He said it was akin to vassalhood, and then yet he voted for it.
Right.
So he's like, you can't be trusted, you can't be believed. And so while he may be the next prime minister, it might not be for very long.
That's a really good point. So Horatio says the rumors are in the UK, the Tories are on 8% and Labour 13%.
Wow.
And he says, big result in Romania, where government has lost its majority from previous EU election and now has less than 25%. Liberal/Conservative alliance has gone from 5% to 25%, and Liberals to 24%.
Wow.
He also sent me a tweet. Let me see if I can switch over here to it so you can see these running results for in France.
The World Verified.
So here we are with the Rassemblement National. That's Marine Le Pen's party right there at 23%. And La République in I don't even know how to say that. Marche. That's Macron's party right there. So there you have those results. They're not ending results, but kind of exit polling results there.
Wait, go back, because I'm not finding the world. Oh, it's verified. I get it. It's just the world. It says verified, but it's just the world.
It's okay. It's smashed up. Well, actually, it's Le Monde. That's translated. In French, it's La Monde. That's probably why you're not finding it. Here, let me show you.
There it is. I found it.
No. That's not
it.
That is not it.
You're
I'm
right.
trying to tell you. I translated this page here. La Monde. Lemonde.
Ah,
See,
I can't even.
No.
I can't even type.
Nope. DE. There you go.
I can't. No.
LE.
I'm sorry. My fingers were in the wrong spot.
Okay. Well.
So you translated the page.
Le Monde on Twitter. Okay. You see that right there?
I see it now.
It literally translates as the world.
I get it now. I'm there.
Okay, and now you found it.
It only took 500 minutes. Okay. You translated the page.
Yep.
All right.
But still, I mean, the results are the same.
Keep them coming, Horatio. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. No deal Brexit almost impossible to stop, says the Spanish government. The Spanish government has said that a clean no deal Brexit is almost impossible to stop, as reactions come in from across the European Union to the resignation of Theresa May as Prime Minister. The hard Brexit seems an almost impossible reality to stop, said the Spanish government spokesman Isabel Sila on Friday. The Spanish government has a contingency plans for all possible outcomes of the UK's exit from Europe. Countries across the EU have put in place planning to keep trade moving across the channel as smoothly as possible should the UK leave the bloc on World Trade Organization terms, including France. The Commission said this morning that President Jean-Claude Juncker will respect the established working relationships with any new Prime Minister. Yeah.
It's going to be rather fascinating. And I keep saying that about every little new hurdle or whatever, landmark that we reach.
So
the UK. I'm just saying the next thing is, well, tonight we'll find out the results for this, and then we're going to watch Theresa May. Donald Trump is actually going to go and visit, and Theresa May, I'm going to stay for the state visit.
Right. Right, exactly.
So there's that. There are a lot of things to look forward to in life.
So, you guys have a famous rock star. And he's been banned. Morrissey has been banned from the oldest record shop in the UK because of his support for Anne-Marie Waters' For Britain party.
Oh my gosh. Wasn't he on one of our late night shows and wore a For Britain pin?
Yeah, in a concert, I think. I don't know. I'm saddened but ultimately not surprised that the Spillers is unable to stop Morrissey's releases any longer. I only wished I'd done it sooner. The 6-year-old Smiths frontman first drew public attention to his political beliefs last year, telling fans of his support for the For Britain party, urging them not to be discouraged by the tyrannies of the mainstream media. He's denied accusations that he's a racist on multiple occasions. Says that that's just a way of changing the subject. He says, I despise racism. I despise fascism. I would do anything for my Muslim friends, and I know they would do anything for me. And he said, in the view of this, there's only one British political party that can safeguard our security. That party is For Britain. Please give them a chance. Listen to them. Do not be influenced by the tyrannies of the mainstream media who would tell you that For Britain are racist or fascist. Please believe me. They are the very opposite. Please do not close your mind. So, at the same time Morrissey was being banned in Wales, posters advertising his new album in the northern city of Liverpool have been removed from the public transit systems. Now, this is what we call a thought crime. No crime has been committed. It is a thought crime. It's a crime of fascism because it's somebody's political beliefs, and now shut them down. Wow. Very interesting, because remember when Elvis had a little hip shake and suddenly the whole world was crazy and was like, oh my gosh, ban him.
Yeah.
And now we have people who are like, radical Islamic terror is bad. Ban him.
Well, and I want to address the fact that For Britain has undesirables. The Labour Party has undesirables.
Oh,
the Conservatives have undesirables. UKIP, they have undesirables. the Brexit Party. They have
the left has undesirables. The right has undesirables.
The Green Party has undesirables.
You think in billions of people in this world, you're going to have one party that's like perfect, shine your boots?
So what they do is they say, well, the For Britain Party has more undesirables than, anything else. Well, you could say that about whoever the radical Islamic terrorists are voting for. Okay? I mean, seriously, you have to look at these things in context. What does the party stand for? What are their plans for implementing change? Do they involve violence? For Britain's plans do not involve violence.
All right, so I have some good news for you guys. 50 children have been saved as international pedophile ring is busted.
Wow.
50 children have been rescued and 9 people arrested. And I'm sorry, we have this horrible sex scene back here.
What in the world?
I know.
Wait, where's my paper? I used to have a paper for that.
Here we go. Use this. Turn it sideways. That's so great. We have like a porn thing on pedophile.
Whose article is this? The BBC. Surprise. Carry on.
The arrests were made in Thailand, Australia, and the U.S., and more are expected, Interpol said. The investigation began in 2017 and focused on a hidden dark website with 63,000 users worldwide. Police believe 100 more children have suffered abuse and are working to identify them. Operation Black Wrist was launched by Interpol after it detected images showing 11 boys under the age of 13 being abused on a site where people can use encrypted software to maintain secrecy. The dark net is an internet area beyond the reach of mainstream search engines. The U.S. Homeland Security Investigations Department traced the IP address of the website, which was hosting photos and videos of abuse. Police say the abusers uploaded new images on a weekly basis and often masked children's faces to make it harder for investigators to identify them. The first arrest came last year when the site's main administrator, Motri Salagam, was detained in Thailand, and another administrator was caught in Australia. Salangam, who abused one of his nephews, was sentenced to 146 years in prison, praise the Lord, in Thailand, while an accomplice, a preschool teacher, got 36 years.
Wow.
Takputza was sentenced to 40 years on Friday after pleading guilty to 51 charges against 11 babies and boys. The heaviest sentence ever handed down in Australia for child sex offenses.
Wow.
Police found thousands of images taken in both Thailand and Australia on his devices, in which some of them, the Takputza was the main abuser. The youngest victim to be identified was 15 months old. You are a child's worst nightmare. You are every parent's horror. You are a menace to the community, and in my opinion, you should have just died. You should just be dead. There's no reason to feed a person like that.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't house people like that.
Right.
Make room for babies in the womb. None of these people should serve in jail. I don't understand why this kind of reaction doesn't get the death penalty. Because you have proven that you will never, ever be back into society.
Yeah.
This right here.
But, what were we watching? Was it on Friday's show where someone was saying that every human being has to be treated as a human being?
Ever had a spark of life, a God in them?
Yeah, it was on
Nancy
that
Pelosi.
it wasn't Nancy Pelosi, but it was somebody, maybe it was Nancy, but it was somebody that was commenting on it or whatever, and they're like, even hardened criminals. Maybe it was just Nancy, but...
Spark of life, spark of God.
A spark of divinity.
Spark of divinity. They know spark of divinity in that guy. It's gone. Spark's out, baby.
I think that, to an extent, 100%, she's right. When you're born, everyone is born with that spark of divinity. But like you just said, you can snuff your spark out.
Exactly.
And can't get it back.
Exactly.
I think that's what we have seen here. All right, so let's see what the latest from Horatio says. Spain has moved to the left. Lots of other things going on in Spain to read too much into it, but they are Spanish. Those results are all in Spanish, or he sent me like a screenshot, and my page wouldn't translate it, but so they're moving to the left. I think it's very fascinating to watch these. They're not just minute shifts. So what does that say across the board throughout Europe? We're having kind of massive shifts, whether it's to the direction you would prefer or not.
Right.
it should tell you something.
Right.
Is happening in the world.
Right. Exactly. Something is happening. There's a lot of shifting going on. Shifty business. I love Steve Turley on YouTube because he covers the rise of he calls it right-wing populism, and he's always like positive, so he only covers like the good news.
Now you're higher than I am.
Okay. The worst prime minister ever. Reactions to Theresa May's resignation. Roland, I don't know if you want to play her crying and storming off one more time for our viewers.
We probably should.
Theresa May has finally conceded that she can no longer remain in Downing Street, announcing she will resign as prime minister on June 7th, and reactions are rolling in. Theresa May had clung on after surviving the loss of a parliamentary majority in the snap election, 3 historic parliamentary defeats for her proposed withdrawal treaty with the EU, and a no-confidence vote in which over half of her backbenchers called on her to go. Calls to step down by the leadership of the party's grassroots activists, devastating losses in English local elections, and dire polling for the European Parliament elections. But she's going to hang out for the party when Donald Trump comes in. Speaking of Donald Trump coming in, are you ready for a... no, you're not going to see any video.
Wait, let me play Theresa May while you're talking about her. All right, so let's switch over here to... I saw at the top of the results, I just put in May Tears, was this video on Russell Brand talking about it. That's probably hilarious. You guys can watch it. I'm not going to 10 minutes, but that looks really funny. So let's watch Theresa May's tears here. I think these are the tears.
I will shortly leave the job that it has been the honour of my life to hold. The second female Prime Minister, but certainly not the last. I do so with no ill will, but with enormous and enduring gratitude to have had the opportunity to serve the country I love.
I cannot take it seriously. I can't. Hang on. We got to rewind it to the part where she storms off. And she said, the country that I love. And you guys didn't love me back, and I'm so mad at you, and I can't believe it. I hate you all, you stupid people. It's all your fault.
Serve the country I love.
I'm so embarrassed for her right now.
She literally just storms off. It's so silly. She's like, I do so with no ill will, and I hate you all.
That's pretty much it.
I'm sorry. I can't.
That's pretty much it.
So she stormed off, and but again, in this kind of fit of childishness, as it were, I told you guys on Friday, and I kind of still feel the same way, that she's like, but I really want to stay for Donald Trump coming. Okay, as long as I can stay for Donald Trump coming, okay, that'd be great.
Okay, speaking of Donald Trump coming, Michelle, why don't you go to Donald Trump's tweets?
Okay.
And he is in Japan right now.
Oh, wow.
We're covering world news. So he recently gave out a trophy. And, go scroll down.
Whoa. Okay.
That one right there.
No.
Yep.
This.
Yep.
It's a video.
It's a little video I want you to play.
Okay, this looks really fun.
Donald Trump presents special presidential trophy to top sumo wrestler.
No way.
Donald Trump has long been a wrestling fan, and following his sumo experience, said it was something to see these great athletes.
Okay, I'm going to play it. Ready?
Yeah.
You're not ready. Okay. Wait.
You got to make it big.
I'm going to make it big. Let me start it over. Whatever. Boom. Look at all this. One second. Donald Trump lifting that big old award, because it didn't look like he really struggled. Okay, somebody helped him. Is that what it was? Hang on. Where's my play button? He was holding that thing. I'm telling you. People saying that Donald Trump is not fit. Dude is fit.
I went through, and I was waiting for somebody to say something mean on the tweets, and all I saw was a bunch of little anime avatars in Japanese, and the Japanese people were very happy to have him come. They said, thank you for coming. This is a big part of their culture. they love this thing that they do. And Donald Trump, this is the Bible says, get out of my face. The Bible says to go and to the Jews be like the Jews, to the Gentiles be like the Gentiles,
to the sumo wrestlers be like the sumo wrestlers.
So I'm just like, I wonder why they're not allowed to wear pants.
It kind of bothers me that, like, you see almost every part of their body.
Booty duty. That's a big booty. But it was packed. 1,100, about 12,000 people. I can't speak right now. He presented the
really
eagle-topped President's Cup to the champion wrestler Asanoyama Yama.
Can I just take this time? Because I don't work on the stories. Leah does. If you send them to me and then I pass them on to Leah.
It was Look at her face.
Melania is all dressed to the nines to watch this sumo wrestling. You can't get content like this anywhere else. Y'all people need to share.
This is a big
share.
This was a big deal for them to have. I think this
Do you
is
know
serious.
That Jay watches us sped up.
That's right, to get it done quicker.
No, because it's hilarious, he says. After the show is finished, you can change the speed in which you watch a video. And it actually doesn't make it sound. It actually just sounds like I'm talking like this a little bit. But you can catch every single thing that I'm saying. Okay? I think you could share these videos, and if you want them to be shorter, you can watch them sped up.
Yep. I think it's a good idea.
Jay was disappointed. He said, I'll be at the show today. He's like, oh no, I can't watch it sped up if it's not finished.
All right, this was an interesting kind of side note here. This is historical error underlies this Naomi Wolf's book on sodomy executions. The thesis of a new book by feminist Naomi Wolf is reportedly based upon the author's misunderstanding of a British legal term. She wrote an entire book on how Britain executed a bunch of people for sodomy, and the legal term that she thought meant death actually meant pardon. So they weren't killed. And one of the boys that she thought was put to death for sodomy at 14 had actually sodomized a 6-year-old, but he was pardoned. He only went to serve to jail for 2 years, but she thought he was put to death. And so she has a forthcoming book, hopefully it will be fixed, called Outrages, Sex, Censorship, and Criminalization of Love. I'm just wondering where she stands on the silencing of Tommy Robinson or right-wing people.
Right.
She chronicles several dozen executions of male homosexuals allegedly carried out in Victorian England, which corrects a misapprehension that the last man executed for sodomy was in Britain in 1835. Wolf based her revelations on British court records, which described the outcome of these cases with the words death recorded. However, apparently none of the executions she references were actually carried out. She thought death recorded referred to capital punishment. The 19th century English term actually meant that a convict was not executed with pardon for his crimes.
That's embarrassing, though, actually, because, I have some flubs on this show, and, like, you do, too, but no one watches us, That's not true. It's not that a lot of people are going to see it.
They write a book.
But we didn't write a book.
On the flubs.
Based on something that was wholly inaccurate.
So I'm going to retweet this again.
That makes me feel good. So Horatio says, remember when Trump took part in the WWE? He needs a cameo in a sumo bout.
Oh, my word.
Somebody will probably make, like, a video of Trump in sumo after that, I think.
Okay, so I need you to play the audio for this, please.
Okay. What is it?
I just retweeted it.
We're on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, good to know that's Donald Trump's Twitter. All right. I like her hair. She's got nice hair.
We're going to start over and unmute it.
Hair. I have to switch this over first. Okay. So that they can see her nice windswept hair. Okay, ready?
Apprehension. You get sentences, as I mentioned, of penal servitude for 10 or 15 years. And I found, like, several dozen executions, but that was, again, only looking at the Old Bailey records and the crime tables.
Several dozen executions.
Correct. And this corrects a misapprehension that is in every website that the last man was executed for sodomy in Britain in 1835.
I don't think you're right about this. One of the cases that you look at that's salient in your report is that of Thomas Silver. It says teenagers were now convicted more often. Indeed, that year, which is 1859, 14-year-old Thomas Silver was actually executed for committing sodomy. The boy was indicted for an unnatural offence. Guilty, death recorded. This is the first time the phrase unnatural offence entered the Old Bailey records. Thomas Silver wasn't executed. Death recorded. I was really surprised by this, and I looked it up. Death recorded is what's in, I think, most of these cases that you've identified as executions. It doesn't mean that he was executed. It was a category that was created in 1823 that allowed judges to abstain from pronouncing a sentence of death on any capital convict whom they considered to be a fit subject for pardon. I don't think any of the executions you've identified here actually happened.
Well, that's a really important thing to investigate. What is your understanding of what death recorded means?
Death recorded, this is also from that. I've just read you the definition of it there from the Old Bailey website. But I've got here a newspaper report about Thomas Silver, and also something from the prison records that show the date of his discharge.
The prisoner was found guilty and sentence of death was recorded.
Yeah.
But the jury recommended the prisoner to mercy on account of his youth.
See, I think this is a kind of. When I found this, I didn't really know what to do with it, because I think it's quite a big problem with your argument. Also, it's the nature of the offence here. Thomas Silver committed an indecent assault on a 6-year-old boy.
And there was others. There was a school teacher convicted of assaulting other boys, and she wanted to be like, oh my gosh, can you believe they put him to death? Well, you know what? I would actually say that that's a good one. So that just goes to show you that lefties have that this particular leftist has a narrative that she wanted to push, and she got caught doing it. I'm going to tweet this out. One more thing. This is in France. This real liberal French person, actually in Australia. You can bring this up.
I'm doing it again.
Yeah, because
right,
my
it's
whole
fine.
Internet is.
This is a tag team
I can
show.
I can actually bring up everything. I was spitting today, but I can't play anything. I can't actually play it.
But that means
So
that
it must be.
it's like when you let the kid hold something to be a part of baking or whatever.
Yeah. So this is what it means to be a real feminist, by the way, and a real liberal.
Which now would be a good time to plug my video, Why I Love Men. You should go check that out.
You should.
I am a liberal, I am a leftist, therefore I am in favor of a strict equality between women and men. Therefore I refuse this idea of the big men having power of the women and compelling them to hide themselves in the shadow of our sub-societies. And those leftists who reason as you tell me, they are sexist, machist, and sometimes fascist leftist.
He's talking about hijab and niqab. And any feminist who would say that the big man can tell, that says a woman isn't equal, that a woman can't walk down the street as equal as a man.
Right.
Because that's what that whole niqab is all about. That's what the whole hijab is all about.
Right.
That women are not equal to men. When a woman puts a hijab on, she is saying, I am not equal to men.
Right.
And she, whether she believes it or not, in Iran, there's all kinds of videos I'd love to share with you guys. A lot of women rising up in Iran, doing their thing. I'm really proud of them. And there are a lot of men who believe in Iran that women are actually equal or more equal. But to see this man from France say, I'm a liberal, I'm a leftist, and therefore, this is what real liberalism is. This is what real leftism is supposed to be. This is what real feminism is supposed to look like. So, there's one more video, and I don't know how I'm going to get it to you. Czech people open champagne for Brexit on the channel Brexit. It was really interesting. The former Czech Prime Minister said that during the Brexit vote that they opened up champagne and celebrated. And I just thought that was really neat. And this was during the London Brexit party. This ex-Czech prime minister.
It's 13 minutes long. You have your time
I don't have it queued up. I was going to have it queued up.
Okay, well,
when I got to it, but I can't bring it up. So you're going to have to play with it.
People like your
and you're going to have to find it.
Demeanor better than your frustrated one.
I'm not frustrated.
In terms of being on the global stage, I move on to our next speaker, our guest speaker this evening, who is the former Prime Minister and President of the Czech Republic, a staunch Eurosceptic, a passionate defender of democracy and the nation state. He also doesn't believe in political correctness. That sounds popular. Before we welcome President Klaus to the stage, it's fantastic to have him with us. Let's just see him in action on the video.
He was born during the Nazi occupation. He lived during the communist regime. He fought against the EU in order to defend his people and democracy.
Some people who take freedom and democracy for granted are not able to understand. I don't need the European unification. Would you be ready to get rid of your government and to create a different government?
There was one wonderful, bright, uplifting moment during the Czech presidency, and I am of course referring to the visit of Václav Klaus. What a wonderful speech that was. Coming into this chamber and telling a few home truths and pointing out that European parliamentarians and leaders are not listening to the peoples of Europe, at which 200 of you got up and walked out of the room.
I definitely tried to keep the Czech Republic as a sovereign country, as a free country. Europe needs a radical political process.
Brexit needs a Brexit party. It is great that Nigel Farage created one.
Please welcome to the stage Václav Klaus.
They have made the Brexit
so
party
great! It's so great! I love it. Just listen to music all day long. He's some bad dude that gets music like that. I want music like that when I do an intro somewhere.
Somebody, please. Can I come in slow-mo with a fan on me with my hair blowing? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear Brexit friends, I am extremely honored, extremely pleased to be asked to come here this evening and to address your political gathering. I must tell you that I am not used to speak abroad. Abroad I speak quite often, but not on such political campaign rallies. So it's not that easy for me in a foreign language, and especially after such an incredible speaker, you know. I am afraid I can't compete. I would like to start with saying with something what you should know, and you probably don't know, that you have many friends in the Czech Republic. Many friends generally, and many friends connected with Brexit. That's very important. I have to tell you that in the moment when we first heard the results of the Brexit referendum, many Czechs opened champagne bottles and
Wait, that was the clip.
They saw it.
It was a great event, not just for you, for us as well, you know. We considered it not only your victory, it was a victory of all European Democrats. It was an important message. The Brexit referendum was not only about Great Britain, I must tell you. It was about Europe as a whole, and in this respect, it was about the Czech Republic as well. So many thanks for that.
All right. Now, Horatio
They
is going
opened
to
up
try and find
champagne bottles.
A link.
Well, I have up. If he's referring to Nigel's the last speech, Nigel Farage. No, that was. Did we even cover Nigel Farage being hit by a milkshake?
I don't think we did, but I think everybody heard about it. It was a milkshake attack.
Nigel Farage's milkshake.
Vicious.
I think we did cover it.
I think that's like a total waste of a milkshake. Like, I'm never, if I'm going to do a milkshake attack,
yeah,
I'm buying two. One for myself to eat first.
Yeah.
And then a second one to throw on somebody.
Well, he does that.
Still a waste of a milkshake.
Bring up Theresa May misread mood of country Nigel Farage on YouTube. Yeah. It's going to be Fox Business. New Dobbs, I think. No, the other guy. What is his name? I love this little British guy that they have on Fox Business. He's so cute. He's so nice. I want to meet him.
Which one?
That
one. This one's shorter. Does it matter? This is the one you want, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
British Prime Minister Theresa May announced she will be resigning June 7th in an emotional address. Watch.
It is and will always remain a maybe reached thing.
Nigel Farage, thanks for joining us, Nigel.
Oh, this is a different
Hello
one.
there.
That's fine.
Your thoughts on Theresa May's address this morning? She started crying at the end.
Well, on a human level, obviously it was a very difficult thing to watch, painful, but politically she misread the mood of the country, she misread the mood of her own party, she tried to deliver a Brexit deal that was a half-in, half-out Brexit deal. We voted to leave. We wanted a clear, decisive, let's get out from European Union rules. She tried to keep us too close, and in the end, I'm afraid her obstinacy was her undoing.
Will Conservative MP Boris Johnson be the next Prime Minister? There are more than a dozen MPs thought to be considering a run. What do you think? Who would you prefer?
I said June 7th. You said
Well, let's see. I mean, on Sunday night, we get the result of yesterday's European election. So everybody in the UK voted yesterday. The Conservative Party are due to get, for the polls, less than 10% of the vote. The Brexit Party, which I founded 6 weeks ago, because I had to re-enter the fray, is due to top the polls at 35%. So whoever the Conservatives choose, whether it's Boris Johnson or not, without my support, they're not going to win the next election. So let's see.
Who do you prefer?
Well, anybody. It could be Boris. Anybody that says we are leaving the EU properly, so we're free to do trade deals with America or anybody else. Boris at the moment is the front runner. Let's wait and see what his platform is.
Okay, President Trump and the First Lady will be visiting Britain in June. Now, are you planning on meeting with them? Because there's lots of talk that the president wants you to attend the state banquet in his honor.
Well, it's a difficult question because this invitation comes from the Queen. You know, this is an official state visit. The President Trump's coming on. So if the President would like me to come, that's great. But I'm not going to push it too hard because I would never, ever want to do anything that insulted the Queen. But let's be clear. I know President Trump well. He's a friend of mine. He wants Brexit so that we can get away from, you know, the unelected European Commission and get Britain and America back closer again. So, yeah, I hope to see him.
Yeah, do trade deals just like Norway does with 150 other countries. I mean, that's sort of the model. I mean, but, you know, there's been a lot of pushback about the president's visit. How will the British people react to the president and the First Lady's trip there?
Well, there's a lot of anti-Trump media, but the truth of it is Trump's reputation in the UK is much more popular than it was when he last came to our country. And I think, to be honest with you, he's coming above all to commemorate the 75th anniversary of D-Day, the day on which America and the UK and Canada, between them, liberated Europe, defeated Nazism, brought democracy back, and I think Trump is in for a very good visit.
You know, here's the thing. British people in private have said that they appreciate a strong leader like President Trump, whether you disagree or agree with his policies. They appreciate that he loves his country. What is your take on that?
Absolutely. And I think, we've had Mrs. May with a series of promises. She never delivered. Donald Trump, like him or not, was elected. And as he said the other week, he's kept more promises than he actually made. Trump is a true Democrat. Love him or hate him, he's doing a great job. And the one thing I know for certain is we've got an American president who loves the United Kingdom, respects our history. And I think with Brexit, our two countries have a great future together.
You meant Democrat in the lowercase d version of the word, right, Nigel?
He believes in democracy.
That's right.
He doesn't believe in socialism. Absolutely.
All right. So Horatio found me, I think, the Ann Widdecombe video. I hope so, because this is what I'm putting in. I didn't even look at it yet. It's video unavailable. It's probably because it's from the UK. And I hope that I can find it. Because if you guys didn't see the final Brexit rally, I think it was, what night was that? It was the 22nd or whatever. Every single speech was on fire. Every person that spoke was on fire. And the mood in the room was...
How do you spell it?
W-I-D-D. Let me look it up. L-E.
I'm out of internet.
That's really weird. Oh, hey, okay, he just told me it doesn't work. Hang on. All right. I got it. Let me copy this again. Let's try one more time.
Didn't I show you guys this? Maybe I watched it myself.
We're going to paste and go.
This is really good.
And we're going to go here.
I don't know. Getting her out of retirement for this was something else.
Do this.
Please welcome to the stage, Ann Widdecombe.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to ask you a few questions. The first one is, if we stay in the EU, will we stay in control of our own laws? And the second is it possible both to be in the EU and to control our own borders? And is it possible to be in the EU and to control our own trade? And finally, is it possible to be in the EU and to be governed by our own democratically elected government? Well, those 4 no's, ladies and gentlemen, are the answer to people who say that we did not know what we were voting for. We knew exactly what we were voting for. And we also know what the Remainers were voting for. They want us to have no control over our own laws, our own borders, our own trade, or to be governed by our own democratically elected government. That was what they were voting for. How could anybody with an ounce of pride in Britain vote for that?
All right, so Horatio tells me to skip to the last 2 minutes because she finishes well, so we're going to do that.
And the second message we have to send them is, we are not going to go away. just about Thursday. This is making sure that Britain leaves the EU and has a proud, free, independent future, and we will stay around as long as it takes to deliver that. Now, I spent 55 years in a certain other party, and during that time I did all the campaigning, all the canvassing, all the street markets, all the public meetings, and I never, in those whole 55 years, saw energy and commitment as I have seen during this campaign from our supporters. So let's build on that energy, build on that commitment. After Thursday comes Peterborough, and after Peterborough comes the next general election.
She's thinking ahead. I love it.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your commitment to a free, independent Britain. And let's remember that is what it is about. It is not about a party. It is about a country and a cause.
I think that it says a lot when you have somebody that has been in politics for so many years that people do respect, regardless of whether they agree with her or they don't agree with her. They respect her. She's very respected. And to have her come out with Nigel's party is huge.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely amazing.
It's beautiful to see the excitement, the fervor, the Brexit to your spirit, it's just a beautiful thing to behold, and I'm really it's hopeful. When you lose hope, you lose like the spark for life. My mom would always say, where there's life, there's hope.
Yeah.
Where there's hope, there's life. And you have to have both.
Right.
And if you give up hope, then you just wallow in despair. And to have somebody like Nigel Farage, who is the epitome of hopeful, people follow hope. People want hope. And, the downtrodden, the people who just, we just want things the way they are. We want a socialist government. They don't have hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Their hope is in controlling other people, manipulating other people, taxation, which is theft. So you have to have hope. I was seeing on Twitter today where I love Caitlin Johnstone, but she has like a lot of Q people who follow her, and she absolutely despises them because the Q people, sometimes they're wrong. The Q is, in my opinion, some well-intentioned people in their basement who
have a lot of inside knowledge, but not everything that they say is
I don't even
correct.
know if they have inside knowledge, but they have something. They are able to really research things.
Yeah.
And they kept saying with Jeff Sessions, just hang on. But what happened there is that people lost hope, and they were losing hope because Donald Trump he was investigated. There were all these little indictments against Cohen and Manafort, and all of a sudden we were winning, and we're not winning.
It feels like we're not.
And then people began to lose hope. And so what happened with Q is it brought people hope. And I can disagree with somebody on facts, but when something brings somebody hope, I want to encourage you to have hope. And if you don't have a message that is hopeful, then shut your mouth. And that's what I would say to Caitlin Johnstone and Cassandra Fairbanks, who I follow on Twitter, and I really enjoy these people, and you have no idea what I'm talking about. This is my own personal vendetta against their anti-hope. They're angry at Donald Trump because, why? Because he's sending some troops to the Middle East. They're angry because of Venezuela. They're angry because of possible war with Iran. It's going over my head. And we're not at war with Iran. at least yet. And Venezuela has been going down under for many years, especially under Obama's watch. And you can't look at a dumpster fire that's been going on for 2 years and say it's Trump's fault. He does have some Mike Pompeo in there and Bolton, who are war hawks who've been wanting to go to Iran. Iran was the last. Here's the thing. The thing with Iran is that there were 7 countries in 5 years, the last 2 being Syria and Iran. They have to go for Iran. They lost out on Syria. And I had a clip up. I was watching Sky News to try to get some election results, and I found that they were doing war propaganda for the quote rebels, which is Al Qaeda, and they had a journalist in there saying this is the last rebel stronghold in Syria fighting against Bashar al-Assad, and we hear that there might be some chemical weapons attacks. And Tucker Carlson had on Tulsi Gabbard to talk about this and say every year at this time there's some sort of chemical weapons attack, and I don't know if it was the UN Council or whoever went to research the last one, found that it was not dropped by air, but it was exploded on the ground. Whatever the weapon chemical was. And we're being played, and that's the clip that Tucker Carlson put out. We're being played on Syria. And if we were played on Syria, then we're certainly being played with on Iran. And I probably should cover this later in a separate video because we're coming to the end of our show. But Tulsi Gabbard made a really good case for why it's important not to go to war with Iran, because she's been deployed to the Middle East twice, and she doesn't want to see people die. And she said, and forgive me if I'm wrong, there's a clip out there where she says it's about the different sects of Islam. And right now we have people working with us in Iraq who are Sunnis, Shias. And if we go to war with Iran, then suddenly we're going to go to war with them, and we don't know if they'll turn on us in Iraq. We might lose Iraq as well, and it might just really destabilize the whole region and make it worse, which is what the 7 countries in 5 years was all about, to destabilize the entire region. But my point is that Donald Trump, when it came out in the video and said, there are people, this military industrial complex is real, and they want war. He said that just recently, like last week.
Okay.
And he's not, as a president, you guys don't understand is what a lot of these people, these girls, these silly girls on the internet sometimes. Donald Trump is not a dictator. He's not in complete control. There is a military that runs. And Donald Trump doesn't know everything that it does, nor can he know. The idea is that you delegate and you have people but if you don't have people to delegate to, if there aren't good guys, he had General Flynn and they took him out. If there's nobody to delegate power to, he's basically trying to tread water and move forward. He's got federal judges blocking his order right and left, which did not happen under Obama. He's got, obviously, the House Representatives who we went over the Mueller report, and that was supposed to be the end of it, but they're still investigating Donald Trump. They want his bank records. They want, and a bank rule that they can have, the judge ruled that the bank can give over his bank records. They want to investigate. They want to bring down this president. This is a coup. And Donald Trump is trying to keep his administration going. And if he gets anything accomplished, then hurrah. And I told her again on Twitter about Saudi Arabia. Well, look at Saudi Arabia. He doesn't call it Saudi Arabia. Well, I understand why. And somebody else said, yeah, Tulsi Gabbard can call out Saudi Arabia before, but when you get in there and you look at the numbers and you see that if you call out Saudi Arabia, then they're going to go to war with you. They're going to drop the petrodollar, and the whole world economy is going to collapse.
Right.
I am sorry that we got ourselves into this mess, but you got to get it. Somebody has to untangle the mess without killing everyone.
Without waking the giant.
You know? So, anyways.
All right, so hang on. Let me get to a couple of comments here that we missed. Let's see. One was from... all right, so Britt Baza says, Michelle, getting back to borderless for a minute and homelessness in the UK to cope with asylum. The UK has to build and complete a house every 5 minutes. It takes 3 months to build a house in the UK. A lot of Brits are homeless. Let's see. Britt Baza says, Leah, the Brexiteer spirit is the old Blitz spirit or the Bulldog spirit of Britain, and it hasn't died, believe me. All right, so Horatio gave me some final
tallies
updates here. Not tallies, just he says, update on Finland. No change overall, but the government party has lost 6%, and the majority, EU majority that is. and their majority, excuse me. And then he actually gave me some updated times for results in the region of the UK. Here, let me scroll through these here. So if you're wanting to, now if you're in the United States, subtract 5 hours from these. So the Northeast results will be coming in at 10:30, Yorkshire and the Humber Southwest at 11, and then the Eastern Midlands at, and I think it's funny that they're like giving these out every half hour. Like, why not do it all at once? The West Midlands at midnight, the Northwest at 12:30, the Southeast at 1 a.m., London at 2, and Scotland will be at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. So that will be the updates there. And so we'll probably attempt to go live tomorrow to cover the EU results. So we do have a mail call that we're going to do. You got rid of our background there.
It just died.
No, we did it. Well, usually it goes to the pigs.
I died. Am I plugged in?
Made it through a whole show.
No.
That's actually impressive. All right, so here's what I want to do. Because I don't have anywhere to set this, I'm going to do it one at a time. All right, now, a lot of times we open up packages before they come just in case there's something that should not be aired. Just in case. But Lori, and I'm going to try not to show these addresses. I hope I didn't. Had sent this one, and Lori always sends us nice cards, so I trusted that I could save her package. Oh my gosh, this is so great.
Aww.
What the heck? Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Is this Memorial Day?
Or 4th of July. It's going to be perfect for tomorrow for us. Refrigerator magnets, those could go on your car.
Yeah.
Window clings, those could also go on your car.
Well, there you go.
Lori, this is so fun. Oh my gosh, refrigerator. You could put these on every single car.
Wow.
It says 4th of July on the
4th of July. So we are going to really be celebrating.
I'm going down the road. Hang on, there's a card at the bottom. And American flag.
We'll be putting those out.
And swirly flag things.
Yay!
Oh, yeah, open up one of those.
We'll have to do a video of it, our little display.
Okay, here we go. Lori, this is fantastic. All right.
This is a banner. We'll have to hang up this banner. I'm excited about this.
I'm excited about it too.
Oh, I'm hitting things.
Stop it. Oh, there's your guitar cords.
Yeah, no kidding.
I love that we're opening up this on our UK show.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, and her card is an American flag. Have a very happy Memorial Day together. Thanks so much for getting the truth out to the world. I really enjoy all of your shows. God bless and best wishes, Lori. Thank you, Lori. That is awesome. I love those.
Okay, showing again, we're going to have this Patriot banner that we're going to hang up for the 4th of July. We could actually, maybe
let me have one of those swirlies.
Probably put these out anyways.
Nope, the swirly. They're probably at the bottom. Here we go. These look really fun.
Put them out
for those of you that do not know me,
no, we're gonna have a big
there's no way you could know, is that I love decorating. Absolutely. I am the decorator. I will buy decorations and put them out because I love them.
We get fall decorations, Christmas decorations. I love it.
That's why I
oh my word. Oh my word.
That's really, really fun.
Sorry, Brits.
Hang on though, because I watched this video and I wanted to play it, and I'm going to try and put it in the link because Worth a Look had sent it to me. Some Guardian reporter that I don't know, but everybody over there does, Owen Jones, he did a video on one of the Brexit party things, and he was talking to people, trying to paint them in a bad light. And in talking to one of the people, a very sophisticated sounding person, and he's asking them, why are you voting Brexit party, whatever. And he said, because I want us to get back to what the original 13 colonies of the United States are. And he's like, I will keep you away from the history lesson, but that's why. And I just thought that was really, really cool. So what's happening here in the UK is similar.
It's another revolutionary freedom spirit.
Right. So now, this next thing is, and I want you guys to be
Lori, that's gonna be fun.
Praying for Pastor Bill, Reverend Bill, Bill Burnett, who often sends, I think he's even sent me an email that I need to read here.
He's battling cancer, right?
No, heart trouble. And he wanted to send my birthday present, which my birthday's not until November, early, just in case. Well, there's no just in case. You're going to be just fine, but I appreciate the early birthday present. I'm going to go ahead and open it now, and I hope that that's okay. Because I want Bill to see me open it.
Lord, we just lift up Bill to you. We pray that you bring healing into his body. I don't believe his time here is over. In Jesus' name, pray, amen.
Amen. actually cut through the envelope there. Grace is such a simple word, yet it means so much.
Aww.
Whether it comes as an encouraging word from a friend, the warm smile of a loved one, or the special strength God grants for each new day, may today bring new meaning to God's wonderful work of grace in your life.
Oh, wow.
Have an most blessed early birthday. Thank you for everyone's prayers, Pastor Bill.
It's like your half birthday.
It is kind of. The scripture is Romans 5:1-2. Therefore, since we have been justified through faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ, through whom we have gained access by faith into this grace in which we now stand, and we rejoice in the hope of the glory of God.
Michelle's middle name is Anne, and that means grace.
Yes.
So that's very cool.
And we were
God's
just
been showing
talking
a lot
about that.
grace lately.
Yeah. So that's a beautiful card.
And there's a song, Amazing Grace, on the back.
Amazing Grace is on the back. So we're going to open this up and find out what special... wow. All right. I think we can probably get rid of the box.
What is that?
Documents of American freedom.
Oh, how cool is that?
Let me sit this chair here so I can hold this better. The Declaration of Independence, the Constitution of the United States, and the Bill of Rights, created exclusively for Michelle Svensson. Unbelievable.
Oh my word!
Wow, this is
Lord
like fancy.
Have mercy.
This is like
Look at
super duper fancy.
Created exclusively for Michelle Svensson.
Okay, he inscribed it. To Michelle, may you and your
descendants
enjoy and revere these God-breathed documents that formed his perfect union. God bless you and your whole family, Pastor Bill Burnett.
Oh my gosh. This is from the Easton Press.
It's
found
like thick
in
paper.
genuine
it's
leisure.
Fancy, like it has like cross grain on it.
Copyrights are copyrighted 2016. This book is printed on archival quality paper, especially milled for this edition.
Wow. Well,
it is acid neutral and conforms to all guidelines to establish the permanence and durability of the Council of Library Resources.
That's really important because
printed and bound
that
in the United
acid
States.
reduction, so that wow. Oh my gosh.
This is the Declaration.
It's literally
of
like
the
but it's
United
not.
States.
It looks like it's printed on there, but it's not. It's a separate piece that's like
oh my gosh, it is
affixed. Wait, what's the next page? Are you skipping one?
Yeah, no.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Wow, it's just that thick.
Declaration of Independence, a clear inscription.
So here it is, written out, typed out.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal,
they can't see it.
that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty.
I've got it on the small screen. That's why. We're going to have to go back.
We're going back.
We're going to go back to the beginning. Sorry, guys. I wasn't even looking at the comments.
There we go. Now, look what it says. Created especially for Michelle Svensson.
All right.
We're going to start over.
Well, go to the Declaration of Independence page because that's like the coolest.
To you, Michelle, and your descendants. We read that. This is printed on special paper. So cool.
I'm going to go back to the comments in case anything else is an error.
Here's the Declaration of Independence. It's a separate piece of paper on here. Okay, here we are. Declaration of Independence. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, which is why we have Brexit in the first place, because these people who did not consent to be governed by the EU, right? That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to its end, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light or transient causes, and accordingly all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the EU and forms with which they are
No, go ahead and read these.
But
this
I'm
is
not
about
done.
King.
But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object devises a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such a government and to provide new guards for their future security, such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking all of these things are the qualms that they had with King George. And so these are, you could literally say the EU has refused their assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. The EU has forbidden their governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance unless suspended in their operation till their assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, they have utterly neglected to attend them. They have refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people unless those people would relinquish the right of representation and legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. Go ahead and pick a couple other ones out. They have cut off trade with all parts of the world. And I'm just kidding.
For imposing taxes without consent. They're going to EU army, so coordinating large bodies of armed troops amongst us. So yeah.
For suspending our own legislators and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever. So Brexit is, I'm sorry. And these were Brits too, so you should be proud of it.
Okay.
Did you shush me?
No, I hit the TV. I was like, whoosh. Declaration of Independence, a transcription. In every stage of the oppressions, we have petitioned the redress, and then it's going in and everybody signed, the people that signed. And here we have, I love that there's a bookmarker here, the Constitution of the United States.
Wow.
Article
that
1.
That is amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, it's all in this fancy
Article
paper.
3. Article 4, 5, 6,
and then they have it typed out in case you have trouble actually reading it.
This is so cool because it's people hand out pocket constitutions.
No, this is amazing.
They're kind of hard to read.
Absolutely amazing. Now, I think Bill was on Facebook Live, so let me go ahead and switch over to that chat so I can see. I'm very disappointed. It looks like my Facebook Live feed cut off.
Are you kidding?
No, we're still here on YouTube, though. So Bill can watch it back.
Article 4, 5, 6,
and then they have it typed out in case you have trouble actually reading it.
Now here we go. This is so cool because it's the Bill of Rights. People hand out pocket constitutions.
No, this is amazing.
Kind of hard to read.
Absolutely amazing.
President of the United States, President of the Senate, signing the Bill of Rights.
Now I think Bill was on Facebook Live, so let me go ahead and switch over to that chat so I can see.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed. It looks like my Facebook Live feed cut off.
Are you kidding?
No, we're still here on YouTube though. So Bill can watch it back.
Make it through the whole book.
Those are thick pages then. And then it feels like there should be a lot more there. That's trouble actually reading it. That's absolutely incredible. Thank you, Bill. I will definitely treasure this. I'm not even sure where to put it because it does deserve to be treasured. Now I think Bill was on Facebook Live. So let me go ahead and switch over to that chat so I can see.
That's so cool.
Oh my gosh! Well, that is the most amazing early birthday present I think I've ever received.
Are you kidding?
No way! I've never even heard of being
very interesting.
Make
it
through the whole book. Those are thick pages then. And then they have it typed out in case you have trouble actually reading it. Absolutely incredible.
This is so
cool. I will definitely. It is going to be a great one. I agree. So thank you guys for being here. I think it was a fantastic. Now I think Bill was on Facebook Live, so let me go ahead and switch over to that chat so I can see. Oh my gosh! Well, that is the most amazing early Facebook Live I've ever received.
Are you kidding?
No, we're still here on YouTube.
I've never even heard
of it.
Oh my goodness! Get him!
Having all kinds of issues.
Get him, Gallon. Go get him.
Thank you guys. We will try to go live at some point tomorrow to give you the results of the EU
maybe not
election.
tomorrow.
We're going to try. Tomorrow's Memorial Day. Oh no, we may not do it tomorrow. No, we're going to be celebrating Memorial Day. You know what would be really awesome is if we could do it late tonight and
we'll see
what the results are. So who knows? But we love you guys. God loves you. God bless. Remember, we have a P.O. box.
Okay, so if you're still with us, next Sunday we're not going to be here. We're doing a yard sale for Grandma Marilyn,
who passed away.
Yeah,
but we're going to help out, help move some of her items. So yeah, Sunday show. Now we had said we may do it in the afternoon, but we'll probably be too tired. I'm going to guess. Let's just cancel Sunday show altogether. Perhaps we'll do one on Monday. You never know. All right. Britt Baza says song. I think our mail call will be in place of the song today.
But thanks for asking.
But thank you for asking. If you want songs, the prophetic word video that we did the other day was packed full of songs. And it was really fun. There were a lot of great comments. People loved it and enjoyed it. So if you haven't checked out that video, I think it's, what is the name of that video? Prophetic word for people being censored
on the internet.
Yeah,
social media.
On social media. And of course, my Bible study that I did yesterday. It was a really, really good one. I think. It was a good one. So I want you guys to check that. You have so much Resistance Chicks stuff to watch. Horatio says that the mail call works instead of the song. He usually exits at the.
But he stayed for the reading of the declaration. That's
all right,
good.
you guys.
Thanks, Horatio.
Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. It's going to be a long weekend in the UK as well as here. It's a bank holiday tomorrow, so stay up as late as you would like to watch the results. God bless and adios. Hasta luego. Bye, guys.
I was cold, all alone. No place for home every day. So afraid, but you call my name.